What's up, poppin' gamers? Welcome to Gamers Go to the Movies, the only podcast series where we have to watch every video game movie with a real theatrical release. I'm your host, Dan Video Games, and with me is Bob.
More work?
Dr. Agro.
Loktar.
And Chris Wolfhard.
Zug Zug.
And this time we've watched the Warcraft movie from 2016. Gentlemen, who has seen this before this assignment? Have any of us?
I saw this in theaters.
Oh my god!
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, this was...
Chris, have you seen it before this?
No.
Me and Bob neither.
No, of course not.
I was like, I need to know what a Warcraft head's opinion is on this, so I texted my brother and I was like, what's your take on the Warcraft movie? And he's like, it was pretty faithful to it. It's not as good as the first Resident Evil movie though. And Chris, do you have any thoughts on this take, having gone through both now? Like, obviously we're gonna have to go through Resident Evil, the first live action Resident Evil movie, down the road for this series, but I thought this was an interesting take.
See, if nobody on Earth... The Warcraft movie specifically is baffling to me because, like, this movie is a relatively, on paper, like Wikipedia summary, accurate adaptation of Warcraft 1.
Sorta.
To which I say, why the would you adapt Warcraft 1?
That is the question of the hour, perhaps.
It is, which I assume a lot of this stuff comes from things they've added to Warcraft 1 later via WoW, like dialogue dumps or something. Because 1 is 24 minutes of just mission briefings.
Yeah,
for a
and we're
story.
talking like StarCraft style. It is people at a table.
But all the basic events are here, like even Medivh being evil and... Like, they change it because in the game, the orc destroy that huge city the humans have.
Yeah, Stormwind gets...
They have to have a happier ending in a movie that's never going to get a sequel. But I like this more than the first Resident Evil movie, but I'm enamored by schlocky fantasy.
I see. Okay, well, for anyone who hasn't seen the 2016 Warcraft film, let me brutally summarize the plot. The orcs head through a portal to Azeroth, and this is through the fell power channeled by the very necromancer-looking orc sorcerer Gul'dan.
He is indeed a necromancer.
It is obvious. He has a weird cloak, and later in the film, he has giant bones erupting out of his back, and it looks insane. King Lane needs to find out how to deal with this orc menace and calls for the Guardian, who may be corrupted by the fell magic. Also, there are other characters. Virtually no one in this film is famous except for Clancy Brown voicing an orc. If there were any tidbits other people are hyper relevant or fascinating about the plot or anything else, feel free to throw in now. Oh no.
I mean, Garona Half-Orkin was there.
Yeah.
That's neat.
Yeah, that sure was a completely ridiculous, like, dichotomy where it's like, here's orc woman, now here's half orc woman who is a normal human woman with tusks.
Yes.
And Tusks is really overselling it. They are so small.
Look, they couldn't keep affording to do the CG orcs. They just couldn't.
I mean, like,
Yeah, even though they're in every scene.
Warcraft orc sexual dimorphism is already pretty extreme.
I really liked the high table meeting where it had the night elves, or it had the wizards, right? The elves.
It had the high elves.
It had the high elves. Thank you. Eyes
dwarves.
going crazy. Dwarfs right next to them. Such an expensive meeting, and they're like, "We're all upset. All of us expensive to render races will now leave the room so the humans and the half-orc can talk."
Yes.
I don't know how much that actually mattered because I don't like none of that armor was real. Like this movie is not. This movie is so VFX heavy. Whenever just a human is on screen, I get confused.
I forgot they were in it. By the time the first human shows up, I'm like, oh, right, there's actors in this movie.
Yeah, there probably shouldn't be. That probably should have just followed the orcs only because, oh my god, trying to follow 2 continuous storylines with this director doesn't work. You need someone experienced to do this.
There's... At a certain point, it being completely CG would have been more acceptable, but then it wouldn't be a real movie. Like, Hollywood has that stigma. You know that's real. They'll just be like, well, that's animated film now.
Right.
Somehow this isn't.
Yeah. Which I don't think the human's armor is CG. It's just, it looks really bad and plasticky. It can't be CG. All the environments they're in are CG, though. Every single one of them.
Every time it cuts to an environment that's real, I get thrown off.
Mm-hmm.
Because most of this movie is a blue screen. Most of this movie is a green screen, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So anytime it cuts to the interior of a small room and it's all clearly real, I get a little unsettled. I'm like, I got used to nothing being real.
So here's a big problem I have with this movie. They are clearly trying to hedge between a more acceptable fantasy aesthetic and actual Warcraft aesthetic, and they shouldn't have. They should have just had motherfuckers running around wearing this.
Yes. No, that would have been great.
Yeah.
Also, is that picture from Heroes as a Store?
Yeah, I think it is.
Yes, that's some skin for Uther, but it's based on an armor set in World of Warcraft.
I mean, it would have been awesome if they were.
Speaking of the half orc, you guys should look at that hidden image I put in this channel.
Oh, yeah?
That's what she looks like in WoW.
Oh, I know how she looks in WoW. Yep. Don't worry.
Uh-huh.
I didn't know.
There she is.
Well,
I only played Warcraft 3. She's not in that. I thought she might be made up for the movie.
Now, I have a question for... Who here played Warcraft 3?
I played Warcraft 3.
Me too.
Okay.
Yeah, I played it at a LAN once.
Aggro knows more about Warcraft as a whole, so I'll keep this to Dan and Bob. Were you ever confused by the story of the campaign of Warcraft 3?
I did not fully beat it, so no.
Maybe they should have started with an adaptation of the game everybody played.
Yes.
No, that's just true.
Having done my research and watched basically all the story in Warcraft 1-2, it was like, oh, these didn't actually have story. Like, these weren't an actual...
Yeah.
It's not a narrative. It's like a history almost.
Right. It's almost a history. It's a bunch of just talking to a guy telling you what to do, you not being a real character even.
Uh-huh.
Like, yeah, it's crazy they tried to turn that into a feature film.
Yeah, like not anything in world, not even Warcraft 3, orcs and humans.
Uh-huh.
We didn't need the backstory, guys. Lord of the Rings was one of the biggest movie franchises in history.
Right?
Look, orcs. Ah, yes, I, a modern audience, understand.
Yeah, the franchise it's Warcraft exists to be a ripoff.
Mm-hmm.
Just start with it would have been made so much more sense to just do a version of the human campaign of Warcraft 3.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because that has a bunch of characters that people know and recognize from the series currently.
Your Avengers teaser in the credits is the exact same as it is in Warcraft 3, where it's Arthas walking up and killing his dad because he's a Death Knight now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
hey, we're making a movie based on Warcraft. Who should we put in it? Sylvanas Windrunner? Nah, Anduin Lothar. That's who the people want.
In Blackhand.
Yeah, everyone loves Blackhand.
I mean, it's Clancy Brown playing Blackhand. That was kind of a highlight of the movie.
It was a highlight of the movie, 100%. I tried to remember his name afterwards and said Blackthorn and then had to go, no, that's a different Blizzard game.
But then the main character on the orc side is a guy they had to make up. Like, he's made up for this. That's crazy.
What, Durotar? No, he's not.
He's not in the original game, at least. I guess he's probably in WoW or something.
No, they like, I don't like Thrall. Like, the kid is Thrall. Like, his son is Thrall.
Which was funny because we can piece that together even from the trailer teasers for this.
Right,
but then they go, I'm going to name him, and they said some other name, and everyone in the room with me is like, oh, I
thought it was Thrall.
It is Thrall, but Thrall is found by humans and named by humans.
Yes.
Yeah. That would be a cool story to have made instead of what you did.
And it's so weird because the trailers for this, the teasers for this actually really lean on the Thrall.
Yes.
Yeah, no, because that's what everybody knows. It's not what we're doing.
And you don't think making your teaser out of that thing you just described might be a problem?
It's so good that like you've got Duratan and Orgrim Doomhammer hanging out and Black Hands being kind of antagonistic, and in like every other shot of a group of orcs you have Grom Hellscream center frame reacting, not part of the movie.
No, not at all.
Live Grom reaction.
Yeah, I feel like Duratan was always part of Thrall's backstory, but they never really went into him until much later.
Okay, that makes sense.
Also, here's my continuity problem. It's Ogrim Doomhammer is the one who kills Black Hand, not Lothar. Okay, thank you.
He's also, I don't think he's a Frost Wolf, right? I think he was a Blackrock, but it's been decades.
I think he took over the Blackrock I forget. He might not have been. Oh yeah, he was a Blackrock originally, although he was friends with Duratan.
Mm-hmm.
I think this might be the most fascinating movie for our segments we do, frankly.
Yeah.
Out of all of them so far.
Before we get to that, though, isn't it crazy how this movie just is like, it's been 5 minutes, get on the Griffin, go to a new location?
I was cracking up so bad. The opening 20 minutes of this film has 3 travel montages.
Yes!
Get on the Griffin. Yeah, let's do it.
And yet it somehow feels like it entirely takes place in like 3 locations.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It just feels so sporadically moving between them and poorly conveyed movement-wise and everything-wise. And I think every human actor is like cast wrong.
Speaking of which, where does the orc portal come out?
Apparently the middle of the woods, but near the mountains?
Like, it looks like Stranglethorn.
When they first came out, it looked like the swamp, and that's where the dark portal opened originally, is the Swamp of Sorrows.
Oh, Swamp of Sorrows. Oh, I was going to say, like, it looked like a jungle. It looked like Stranglethorn. And I'm like, how the fuck are you getting here in a day?
It was the Swamp of Sorrows, and because they later show the, God, I forget what it's called. The place that Karazhan is, like the Deadwind Gulch or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Deadwind Pass.
I did like the Leonardo DiCaprio point when they showed the town in the forest. It's obviously Goldshire, the first town you go to in the human area of World of Warcraft.
That the king's in for some reason.
Yeah, that was crazy. Why was he?
This whole movie is like, and this is in the movie, and this is in the movie, and this is in the movie.
It really has kind of that energy.
Then why didn't you make the movie like that? Just have it be that instead of. It's so much cool happens in this movie, and I don't care about any of it.
Yeah, it's really quite the experience to come to this after and we haven't watched it for the series yet, but I have seen the Minecraft movie, because it's less normal fan service of we wrote a story that involves these things, and more Minecraft movie chicken jockey tier.
Yeah,
it's just goes, look, a thing that's not important or relevant.
Here's a location, okay, moving on.
It's a bizarre feeling. It's a really bizarre feeling.
But yeah, to listen to these different stories for like campaign stuff for 1, 2, and it's like, 2 had like Deathwing and all this other really cool stuff. 1 had almost nothing. And that's what we thought was with this movie.
Yeah, they wanted to adapt that. And I think everyone here has very clearly, repeatedly made the point of why.
Yeah.
Why did you feel that way?
Just like, we're making a Warcraft movie. Who should we put in it? Jaina Proudmoore? Nah, teenage Khadgar. That's who the people want.
Which apparently isn't there some deal with Khadgar where he's supposed to be aged extremely even from a young age?
Oh, really?
That's what it said on his Wowipedia.
I mean, I don't know. He's still around in WoW, and at this point, that's like 30 years after.
Well, yeah, but he's like
more than that after
the super wizards. So.
Yeah, so I assume they're just get to be immortal.
Okay, he was prematurely aged into a old man somehow. I don't really know how.
This is the rudest thing I think I'll ever say about a cast of actors for this film. I haven't said anything like this, I feel, for any of the other films we've reviewed so far. so many people in this movie go to act, and I go, no. So many people in this movie they cast, and I go, wait a minute, you're not famous, get out of here. And it's not like me recognizing that I don't recognize them. I see them act and immediately pick up on, hey, you're just some more affordable guy that they just wanted to fill this role with because they didn't want to bust the budget on that instead of VFX. Get the out of this movie. Can someone with any charisma or presence or acting chops can please show up? And the movie resoundingly, solemnly said, no.
I like how most of the movie you were like, just like Medivh is knockoff Morbius.
He is! He looks like Jared Leto who got better.
Yeah, he does. It's messed up.
Every time he shows up and it's like, oh, is something up with him in the fell? I go, intriguing. Medivh Morbius. Why did you have to bring it up? I was struggling with that the whole film.
Yeah, no, it was rough. I couldn't unsee it.
Khadgar in the movie was, I think, the most unsettling because he just looks unnaturally smooth.
No, it's true,
and I don't know if if that was on the VFX angle or makeup really not liking him.
Yeah, it is. It's so weird. Like, I feel like him and Medivh should have. Well, I guess maybe not him, but Medivh and the other guy, the guy who's like Aragorn from Lord of the Rings.
Do you mean
real hard?
Yeah, oh God, what was that guy's name?
Yeah, I don't know. But anyway,
Lothar.
They should both have been at least 20 years older. Like, just the way their stories were written, were like, you look way too young for this.
Mm-hmm. They're like, oh, remember all those old times? Bro, you're 24.
Yeah, that's part of what makes me feel like the movie was just cast affordably.
Mm-hmm.
God, you know that new D&D movie? Quote, new.
Yeah.
That's like 3 years ago or something. That is such a better film.
That movie's excellent. That's crazy.
Yeah,
don't even compare these.
When you point the camera at those people, they look like they're in a place and not standing in the middle of a blue screen soundstage.
And when they go to deliver a line based on a character arc, you actually feel that they believe the they're saying.
They aren't looking off screen at the teleprompter.
Oh no, Medivh? Please don't go. Credits.
Man, its whole way of telling its story is so unexciting. It's strange. Like Edgar was saying, so many cool things conceptually happen in this, but the way they're conveyed it's super lame at all moments.
I mean,
it's boring.
Part of that, to me, part of it, not the major component, but definitely a functional part of this that must not go unnoted in this review, is that this movie does more crossfades than any other film I think I've ever seen.
It does.
And it does it at the end of an action occurring. Yes. Imagine a Star Wars crosswipe that came in early, but we're not doing a crosswipe. We're crossfading immediately, so it'll be like, oh, I can't believe he got away with it.
Yeah, no, it cuts him off almost.
We're elsewhere. We're at the human kingdom.
We gotta save some time.
So I was like, who the hell is the editor on this? And I look it up and I'm like, I don't recognize your name. I don't know who you are. You are famous. I know that much. But what have you done recently? And it's like, last movie edited by, let me get the name real quick. Paul Hirsch. The Mummy, the Alex Kurtzman directed 2017 The Mummy.
I'm sure that's great.
I'm like, oh, good. Another layer of that movie I have to look forward to. I imagine, though, check this out. When your movie is comprised of normal scenes shot of humans on sets most of the time, you get a little bit more leeway with where the shot ends compared to the insanely expensive CG budget thing.
Right. Oh, yeah, something I wanted to remember to ask Agro.
Mm-hmm.
During the final battle, the humans start pulling out guns and running at the enemy with them. How does this make you feel?
The battle formation of rows and rows of people just pulling out blunderbusses and firing?
Yes.
You mean the entire army that's kitted out in like 130-pound cartoon plate armor? Running at the enemy on foot? Yeah, no, I'm fine. By that point,
It's even broken you. Okay. I need to know.
I was too busy being mad about Garona stabbing Lane because reasons and not because she was mind controlled by Gul'dan.
I think they later retcon it into him wanting her to kill him so she can, like, this in this movie was eventually retconned into what was the story.
Wow.
Oh my.
Because in the actual Warcraft 1, she just is a spy and kills him.
Yes.
So I guess it's been retconned twice into different explanations. Incredible.
Okay, so is Ner'zhul gone now? Did they just retcon him out of the lore, or did they just leave him out of the movie?
I consider it. Well, Ner'zhul is the one who destroyed Draenor, and in this they imply it's Gul'dan. So I guess they combined Gul'dan and Ner'zhul.
I feel like we've spent quite a decent amount of time discussing the movie and how it made us feel. Any other comments before we get to our various metrics?
I have one more thing. The movie opens up and they recreate the battle between a human and orc that's done in CG in the beginning of Warcraft 3, but it looks worse than that did, and it's way shorter, and they cut it off before the Infernals would start coming down. It just upset me.
Maybe that was their intention.
Maybe
they were looking to upset you. It was a pretty good feeling as everyone in the room goes, oh, it's just Warcraft 1 and 2. And then one guy in the room's like, good, I haven't played 3 or WoW. I know what these things are. And he DiCaprio pointed a few times.
But even he seemed disappointed that it was only one.
Right, even he's just like, but why just one? Well, let's go ahead and get to it. Gentlemen, we got to get to the thumbs segment. Is this movie thumbs up, thumbs down, or thumbs sideways? It is worth noting until now, no movie has gotten a thumbs sideways.
Huh. You just all felt too strongly about them.
Yeah, well, when you watch the Tekken movie, you are compelled to take certain actions. Let's go ahead and start with Chris. Chris, what are you giving this?
I guess I'll give this a thumb sideways because I liked it from the angle of liking schlocky fantasy, but man, you shouldn't have adapted Warcraft 1, and you shouldn't have had the movie take place in what feels like 3 locations.
Bob.
I have to give it the thumbs down. Like, Krull is 100 times a better movie than this. It's a random 80s movie. It's the fantasy 80s movie. Yeah, you could choose almost any of them, and they all be like hundreds of times better than this. There's no visual stimulus I like here. It's just boring.
Bob's like, I crave that scene where he crawls up the mountain and then into the weird lava room.
Yes! If we just focused on one dude and we did weird stuff like that, this movie would be incredible.
Yeah, it does feel like they didn't develop a single character.
Yeah, and that's kind of a problem.
It's a little bit of an issue for a 2-hour movie. Yeah, I'd agree. Dr. Agar, where are you coming in at?
Yeah, no, this movie's a thumbs down. It is a project whose reach far exceeded his grasp. Yeah. I don't know why they attempted the specific thing they did, but they didn't accomplish it.
I'm also going to give this a thumbs down. It is a completely inert movie. It feels like a waste of time. It feels horrible that all of the teasers they put out to tease that it was about Thrall coveted the last 15 minutes of the film, possibly. They're like, she's pregnant at the beginning. I'm like, oh, great. We're going to do a time skip. We're going to get to see Thrall. No. That would be too compelling. We're just, oh, great. Awesome. Swell. Hey, dwarves, high elves, anyone else want to be a core part of the nope? Okay, bye. Awesome.
I'm sure there weren't any important dwarves or high elves in the story of Warcraft.
One?
One is literally called orcs versus humans. Like, I don't think the dwarves or high elves were there at all.
Right.
The high elves suck anyway. Like, that's why they ended up horribly cursed forever and became the blood elves.
Yeah, but that'd be fun to do, though.
Like, sounds like a character arc. You could stick a character at the center of that.
That doesn't happen until Warcraft 3, which is where this adaptation series should have began.
100%.
Yes.
Were they high elves in this movie? I thought they were purple.
No,
they were definitely high elves. They were like blonde and pale skinned, and I'd be mad if they were like, why the night elves here? They're on the other continent. Nobody knows they exist.
Yeah, I was just gonna let it go.
Were there night elves in cages at the beginning of the movie?
No, those were Draenei.
Yeah, Draenei.
Okay.
That was way too many Draenei for opening the dark portal.
Is there a desirable quantity that you're aware of, Agro?
I think it took one.
Oh.
I think he killed like one Draenei kid to power the portal as part of a ritual.
Huh. This next segment's going to be real fun because you just heard us all come down pretty hard on this. Is this worse than the Tekken movie, Bob?
No. Not even close.
No.
Chris?
God, no.
Yeah, as much as I'm negative on this, no, God, no, this isn't worse than the Tekken movie. Come on now. Now, here's the real question, and only people who saw it get to say, is this worse than the first Hobbit film? Bob?
No.
Aggro?
You know what? Pound for pound, I think I like that movie better.
Chris, have you seen the first Hobbit film?
Nope.
Okay, so you and I are safe. We don't need to have a judgment call here. That's great.
Oh my God, I couldn't suss out how that worked in my brain. So yes, the first Hobbit movie is better than this.
Okay, so this is worse.
This is worse than the first.
Oh, okay, so it's net neutral. Oh,
yeah.
Great. Now Chris and I are going to have to go watch it and really.
Because it has like a character. We follow Bilbo. He's a guy.
Yup.
It's true. I've heard as much. He's a guy.
I can easily believe that movie's better. Like, that's not a difficult leap for me to make mentally at all.
I'm at least, because it is inevitable that I will see the Hobbit films. There will be an extra layer going on there. Thank God. Gentlemen, we move on to our next segment. What is the star power of Warcraft 2016? This is a scale 1 to 5 category. We're going to go ahead and start with Chris Wolfhart.
I'm gonna give this a 1. Like, if Clancy Brown had been a main character, I'd give it a 2 or 3. But he's a character that really barely exists. He's in there so they can say Clancy Brown is in this movie. He is wasted.
I'm also going to give it a 1. Leaning the same place as Chris. Like, Clancy Brown, I wouldn't even say he had large star power at the time then, but giving him a flesh role would have given us anything. Putting him as a voice of an orc doesn't do enough for me to say there's any star power in this film.
He could have been Medivh. That would have been really good.
That would have been...
Dude, no, Clancy Brown is King Lane. That would have been amazing.
That also would have been good.
Yes. Yeah, no, that would have been spectacular, but we don't get that. We get him as the voice of Blackhand. Bob, where are you sitting on this?
If we can give it a 0, I would, but I guess it's the 1 to 5.
It's just a 1 to 5.
So, yeah, it's a 1. Like, no one in this is relevant except Clancy Brown.
Yeah, I feel like having the voice of Clancy Brown and a guy who looks like Jared Leto got sober doesn't really...
Yeah, that's like the Tim and Eric $1 billion movie. They hired
the fake Johnny Depp.
Fake Johnny Depp. That's what we got here. It's a bunch of fake Johnny Depp actors.
This movie would have been better if they got that guy. By the way, that guy actually is a stunt double for Johnny Depp.
Of course.
So it would have been fantastic if he just showed up in this film as someone. Dr. Aggro.
I mean, yeah, like Clancy Brown, God bless him, he'll show up to do anything. The guy they got playing Lothar was also in the Vikings series, so that's a thing. But it's still a very you experience the savings. This is a 1.
They should have gotten Patrick Seitz to voice every single orc in the movie.
That would have been good.
It does sound wrong that none of them are Patrick Seitz.
Aggro, you saying you experience the savings is like the best way to describe it. Wow, this is great. They're saying the lines. This next segment is a scale of 1 to 100. How faithful is this movie? Can you rank the faithfulness for me? We'll start with Chris.
Now, when this is a confusing question that I doubt we'll ever have to address again.
Mm-hmm.
If it's an adaptation of one game, but includes information retcons that were later in that franchise, what am I going off of?
I feel like faithfulness isn't necessarily like, even if the movie was really, really hewing close and then made the smallest deviation from the original, or a deviation from the original, I wouldn't say that makes it unfaithful necessarily. And this sort of falls into that, right? Like the body of the thing is faithful.
Mm-hmm.
It just includes some retcons engineered way later.
Yeah, I feel like you almost have to go on vibes in this sort of situation.
I'm gonna say 90%. Like, this almost has the same plot summary as Warcraft 1 if you just wrote them both down.
Dr. Aggro.
I'm going to give it like an 85 because like a lot of it's here. Visually, a lot of it's very faithful, but there is just like a little tick list of like, they changed that and they changed that and they changed that and they changed that.
Bob.
Yeah, I think I'm also going to say 90%. Like, it just feels so like they cared extremely about this part, maybe in detriment to the film.
I'm going to give it a 95%. It really does feel like there are differences, but because there are so few and they are small enough, it maybe magnifies the perception of them. I would say there's a 5% deviation, but it makes those stand out more as opposed to, like, say, a Resident Evil movie where you go, hey, it's a zombie dog. That's like the game.
The city is named Raccoon City. That's enough for me.
Oh, there's a laser room that a later game will steal back. Oh my God, this category, I actually forgot to look ahead at this. Would you consider this a reasonable substitute for the game? This is horrible. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say, you know what? Yeah, just watch this movie and skip Warcraft 1 entirely. This is going to be a controversial statement. I don't think playing through entire RTS campaigns are a desirable activity in any spectrum. And I think this being the Cliff Notes version of 1 mostly is kind of like neat.
That is neat.
Especially since 2 isn't drastically different like 3 is. So if you watch this instead of playing 1, you could get to 2, and then you could get to 3 where people actually care.
Man.
What's up?
I just, this whole week of getting ready for this made me be like, Warcraft 3 really plays like no other game, and they simply won't ever make another one. It's very upsetting.
Yeah, it's so weird. Dr. Aggro, are you angry? I mean, what do you think about whether or not this is a substitute for playing the game Warcraft 1?
Speaking as someone who didn't play Warcraft 1 through 3 and only knows the story and lore from it, from references and context clues by playing World of Warcraft for years, yeah, sure, watch the movie. You will have about as good an understanding as any random WoW player would.
I would like to think you'd be slightly better, but probably not, actually.
Yeah.
It depends on whether you read your quest text.
God, who does that in 2025?
Chris, how do you feel? Is this a suitable substitute for playing Warcraft 1?
I genuinely can't imagine someone going and playing Warcraft 1 in 2025, so I'm going to say yes.
Bob?
The weird thing is I kind of enjoyed listening to that 25 minutes of between mission dialogue more than I enjoyed this movie.
Sure.
But that's not involving actually playing Warcraft 1. So yeah, you probably get by watching this, and this is probably more accurate to current lore and versions of the story, because like we've been saying, it includes retcons and things that they changed later on, and given more context to different things, which simply aren't in that original game.
Okay, Bob, rolling on to the next category, still you. Do you think they should have adapted this movie back into a game?
God, no. We don't need another version of Warcraft 1. We have enough remakes in this world.
This feels like a suitable time to bring up. You remember that point and click Warcraft PC game that actually leaked?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that never actually came out.
Yeah, that was really cool looking.
Right?
That's better than this movie, I feel like.
Absolutely.
Chris, what do you think? Should this have been adapted back into a game?
They might have done that. They released that Warcraft 1 remastered like within the past couple of years. I don't know if they could have story changes in that.
I don't think there was anything that large. That was really just graphical updates.
But I'm going to say no. They shouldn't.
It even still credits the same narrator as before, who has left the company and it is currently working on whatever that StarCraft Stormgate, I believe.
Stormgate, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm also going to say no, they should have adapted this back into a game because it would just be Warcraft story, but weirdly different and possibly involving flesh actors. Aggro?
Okay.
I know that voice.
I want you to know at the end of this, I'm gonna say no. But I also feel that I need to report that while watching this film, I kept having this dark vision of a cash grab kart racer starring the movie versions of all of these characters.
Is it for the Game Boy Advance?
I just size them all to be roughly the same size, try to base the textures off of the movie renders of the orcs, and put them in the generic carts.
Man, Blizzard used to be a real company and they would have done that. It would have been beautiful and we'd all love it.
But no, that should not happen.
Would this have made a good FMV game? I'll go ahead and start. No, I feel like it completely lacks the specific action you need to make a good Sega CD style FMV game. I think it would be terrible. I think it would be boring. It would somehow be more boring than that Sherlock Holmes FMV CD game because that has mechanics to interact with it. You know, it's a normal game full of FMVs. Aggro, what do you think about that, huh?
I would kind of want to see an FMV game of this where you just, at every decision point, you get to choose whether to do what the characters did or just gank Medivh. And every time you do it too early, it fades to black and there's a text box that explains why you shouldn't do that.
I just imagine you try to gank Medivh and every time there's a specific video of Medivh getting full of fell energy and shooting electricity out of his eyes, and then it says game over, and then the thing Aggro said pops up. So that was a yes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Chris, would this make a good FMV game?
God, no.
Bob?
Okay. As funny as it would be to have to hit buttons at random times so they don't fall off the griffin, they probably shouldn't do it. Although the only way that it would be acceptable to do is you would have to reshoot the entire movie using even lower grade actors, using even lower grade costumes. So it looks like it's like a
Ren Fair.
Like a Sega CD era appropriate budgeted thing.
So this would make a terrible FMV game because it wouldn't look low rent enough.
Right. Like that, you'd have to remake the whole movie basically, and it'd be way cooler, but it wouldn't be easy. It wouldn't be the same movie.
No. So the answer for the movie's no.
No.
But you have a vision.
I do.
I think your vision's correct.
Can you imagine Medivh was the $30 version of his coat?
Oh, I would love that.
Right? It's just some dude went to Goodwill and then taped a bunch of feathers on a cloak.
Dude, I'm sitting here and I'm like, now I'm sold. I'm like, I do want just the Warcraft FMV game.
Mm-hmm.
Not based on this movie at all, actually, and using none of the footage. Okay, now the segment I've been looking forward to the most. Is this movie normal person friendly? Would you bring a normal person to go watch this film? Dr. Aggro.
100%.
Wow.
I mean, one, that's who this was for.
I don't think so.
I mean, that's why this project exists.
Okay, maybe.
Two, I have a certain list of people who I'm not allowed to watch movies that take place before 1970 with anymore. And this is a great way for me to side door in my favorite activity of constantly complaining that a movie didn't get something 100% accurate.
Jesus. Chris, would you bring a normal person to watch this movie? Do you think it's normal person friendly?
Probably not, no.
What determines that for you? What's the determining factors of the film?
It's so boring. Like nothing happens.
Bob?
Yeah, absolutely not. This feels like it's not even made for normal people. This feels like it's made for WoW heads who want to check off everything they know from the game. Like, oh, I need to see this place.
Guilty? No. As one of those people, no.
It feels like the intention was to capture that person, though, and not a normal person. Because if you're not clapping when you see Stormwind, what's the point?
I feel like if they were going to do that, they would have just done Warcraft 3.
They should have.
Yeah.
Everyone knows. I'm going to say this movie isn't at all normal person friendly, frankly.
Yeah.
I don't. There's just a complete lack of broad appeal between the star power and story that just makes me go, no, there's no way a normal person would enjoy this.
Unless they really like green people. Maybe they just...
I mean, again, the movie opens on a pregnant orc. Maybe this is for a crowd I wasn't anticipating in the least.
Right? I honestly thought it was going to turn into a love triangle with the half-orc lady.
Oh, that would have been...
It was like this, well, you know... This is weird, but I'll take it over whatever you did do.
Which is mostly nothing, actually.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I also started to wonder if the movie was going to go that direction, Bob. Maybe this movie may not be normal person friendly, but it might be orc friendly. Well, that's going to do it for this episode of Gamers Go to the Movies. Join us next time for... something that maybe might appeal to normal people. The executive producers for this month's Gigaboots videos are Spaceman Spiff, Red Blaze 27, Brendan O'Sullivan, Cooper Tank, BN12, Rado, and Veermbarm. Thank you very much to our executive producers. And also these guys. If you want to become an executive producer or a normal patron, head on over to patreon.com/gigaboots today.